Hello, Andy Strong here. Welcome back to the Fundamentally Fit podcast with me, your host, Andy Strong. And today, it's been a few weeks, to be perfectly honest, since I sat down in front of this microphone to speak to all of you lovely people. But today we're going to be doing the second part, episode number 11, but the second part of our fitness industry trends. So last week, or the last week's episode that you listened to, we were chatting about some of the more unusual and weird and wonderful fitness trends that were out there in 2017. So from mermaid fitness to goat yoga. If you haven't listened to episode number 10, get yourself back over onto SoundCloud or onto iTunes and have a listen. Some of the really more unusual things that are going on out there in the name of health and fitness right now. But today, we're going to be doing the second part, and we're actually going to be looking at an article from The Telegraph, which actually is looking at some of the more, serious industry trends going on in the health and fitness space in 2017. But before we talk about that, I just want to address one thing really. I have been away from recording the podcast weekly. In fact, it completely disappeared for at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. I just wanted to have a chat about the reasons behind that. August was a really, really busy month for myself, mostly because I was completing a qualification. It was a qualification I've been working on for over a year with Body Type Nutrition and Ben Coomber. So I've been working on this nutrition-based qualification, and it'll be my fourth nutrition-based qualification. But this particular exam was a month-long affair, very detailed, had case studies involved in it, had exam questions to do, and it basically, along with my clients, just took up an awful lot of my time and didn't leave me the kind of extra time where I get to sit down and have a chat about all of the things that are going on in the world of health and fitness, which is what I do on my weekly podcast. So apologies that I've not been around as much as possible, but the exam's done. Hopefully next week actually, I'll be hearing and getting the results, and then in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be telling you what I'm going to be doing and how Fundamentally Fit is going to be moving forward. I'm going to be moving a lot of my services online. I'm going to be delivering a lot of my nutrition services online, and actually telling you a little bit about how I'm hoping to work with some more of you lovely people out there, and also to explain a little bit more about what we do as a business, because we're 11 episodes in now and I haven't actually stopped to really tell you what it is that I do. There's a few reasons for that. One is that I've wanted to get this qualification finished first, because it gives me a fantastic foundation for me to actually be in a position to fully help those of you out there that would like some help with your health and your nutrition and your diet and all of those important things. And the other reason is that I wanted you to just come and enjoy this podcast, enjoy this space. I don't want it to be a salesy space, but there will be a little bit more about kind of what I do behind the scenes in my own business moving forward. That being said, we're 3 minutes in, 10 seconds down, 3 minutes 10, and so it is time to crack on with today's podcast. So, industry trends. This was taken from a Telegraph article, which was printed in earlier in August, and we're going to run through this seven items on this list, and we might run through all of them. There's a few that I want to pick out, so this is in no particular order, but these are health and fitness industry trends 2017. Let's jump right into it. So, number 1, mind the gap. So, according to the Telegraph article, for a while now, the fitness industry has been pushing in opposite directions on cost. It's been, on one hand, a race to the bottom for the affordable end. So this will be things like very low-cost monthly gyms, such as Pure Gym, The Gym, where it is a low-cost, pay-as-you-go almost monthly fee. Versus the upper end, which has been getting more and more expensive for one-to-one based coaching. There's been very little in between, and they see this trend actually continuing. And they don't see this changing anytime soon, because now they're in a position where lots of the gyms are now finding very heavy competition at the lower end of the market, because there are more and more gyms opening up in that space. A lot more of the bigger gyms are now having to break down their monthly offering and reduce their contract range to almost as a pay-as-you-go monthly option, which is for those people in that area that want access to a gym, maybe know what they're doing, maybe just don't want the burden of a big expensive gym. This is a really good thing. thing. Some of the leisure facilities out there, while very luxurious, very nice places to be, they do offer almost a level of comfort that a lot of people just don't really need. And I say comfort and luxury in a way that many gym memberships are aspirational things to have. They're very nice places to go. Hands up, I love going to a really good quality gym. Some of my best times were spent in really, really nice, plush, well kitted out gyms. But fundamentally, at the heart of it, I don't need all of the bells and whistles to have a good gym, to get a good workout and to train really, really well. I just need some well maintained, looked after equipment, and then I can go and do my thing. And that means that now there is more of this available. That's good for those people that just want access to a gym, maybe don't have the money, or maybe just don't want all of the other things that come with it. So that's a really interesting point. At the other end of the scale, they see this kind of gap widening a little bit out, because at the upper end there are individuals where I tend to fall into this bracket. My business model currently with my one-to-one PT clients, we work one-to-one for anywhere up to 12 months or above. There are slightly shorter programs available, but it isn't a one session wonder. It isn't come and do a taster session for free kind of thing. My programs are lifestyle driven, and therefore there is a cost factor that comes with that, because as an independent trainer, I can only work with so many people, and so therefore I work with those that are very motivated, I work with those that have got very specific goals, and I work with people that really are ready to make a change. And often that is very different to someone who wants to go to a gym, maybe spend £20-30 a month and might go once or twice. So there's a big divide between the two. Unfortunately, not everyone can afford to come and train with me that I would love to work with, but at the same time it means that I do get to work with some people that are very dedicated, and it means that I can support my business and move and grow my business into a position where hopefully with my project that's coming out soon, I'll be able to reach and help more people anyway. So interesting. First part of this article that's kind of really determining the two differences between those markets. And which do you fall into? Which do you tend to? Are you kind of a low-cost gym? Do you like to go to your local council gym? Because a lot of my local council gym down here are actually very, very, very well kitted out, very nice gym, not super expensive at all. Do you enjoy the kind of simplicity of a pure gym, not over salesy, just go in, do your thing, get it done and go home? Or actually, are you on the other end of the scale? Do you really value working one-to-one with just one trainer, working on your specific goals? All right, it may cost you a little bit more, but do you find that the value you get from that is much more beneficial, or do you find that the cost of that is maybe prohibitive? Interesting to see where you fall in this. Maybe you're a classic. Maybe you like the David Lloyds and the Virgin Actives out there, and you just like that nice space to relax. Next up, we have group fitness. Now, group fitness is never ever that far away from fitness trends, and this year certainly is no different. But the reason that health and fitness is kind of drawn towards group fitness, whether that be your classic gym class like spinning, HIIT sessions, or if it is something that's driven a little bit more in a bigger community, something say like CrossFit, or classic small group training where there may be like 3 to 5 of you. The big reason this is always so popular, there's kind of 3 main reasons it's always really popular. Number one, is always more cost effective because you're not paying for one-on-one time with a trainer on your own. Therefore, the cost is going to be split between several of you, whether that be another 10-15 of you in a bigger class, whether that be with a smaller group. It is always going to be slightly cheaper. Doesn't mean it will be cheap, but it is always going to be cheaper. The second reason this is always popular is community and just ability to mix with other people. Having an appointment, having a session to go to, having friends that you don't want to let down, always a super powerful motivator. So having a class to go to, people that you meet, a community that you can go and engage with, makes exercise more fun, it makes it more engaging, and it just means it's something that you want to go and do more of. If you just have to take yourself to the gym, that is usually the reason why we've all had dusty gym cards that stay in our wallet for 12 months after we've signed up to go to the gym. There's no other added incentive, and group fitness is always really, really good at that. And then finally, group fitness is always really popular because you have other people to spur you on in the sessions. It's cost effective. We know you're going to want to go there because you don't want to let people down, because you're going to meet people. But once you're actually in the class, you've got other people to be competitive with. You've got other people to spur you on when you're struggling. And it is just a really positive, nice place to be for a lot of people. Now, for me, I do like certain aspects of group fitness. It isn't my favourite, but I have done a lot of it in the past. But it is a very, very powerful motivator. It's also why you see things like Slimming World, Weight Watchers, all of the fitness, all the diet kind of clubs or groups. They're always really popular because it's a group environment. It's less intimidating, and it is a slightly safer environment for people to get started. So I don't see group training or classes disappearing anytime soon off the top of the list of top trends. And this year is no different. So what have we seen this year that's different? Well, not a great deal, to be perfectly honest. There's been some new things out there which is kind of getting slightly bigger now, which is Zoo, which is kind of primal movements, mimicking animal movements. Quite an unusual class, have to be honest. I don't know where I begin to try and describe some of the things that they do in these classes, but it definitely is different. It'll be fun for some people, something different to try. But the big hitters are always the same. Spinning is relentless. They're now opening, in fact, David Lloyd are now opening like mega spin classes. One of my coach friends over in Putney recently launched the new David Lloyd spin studio. I can't remember how many bikes it holds. I think it's over 100, but it's huge. So spinning is not slowing down anytime soon. But this year we've seen some more variations on HIIT training. We've seen CrossFit as well, as a community group-based fitness is growing in popularity. There's more CrossFit boxes everywhere. People are becoming more aware of it as a sport or as a exercise kind of regime. And also I think people are becoming more aware of the CrossFit Games as well. So CrossFit's certainly featuring in that quite heavily. But that is group fitness. Again, really popular for lots of reasons: cost, motivation, and a fun environment to be in. But then there's a few other things on this list that aren't necessarily down to specific types of exercise. There's a few other things in the industry that are trending right now. Some that I think are really quite positive. And one of those that I was drawn to was number 5 on the Telegraph's list. And we're more mindful of body transformations. And so I'm just going to read the first part of this article here. So we've all seen the before and after pictures. A newly muscular man flexes next to his podgy former self under a headline that screams the details of his impressive weight loss. Firstly, well done that man. Weight loss is difficult for everyone, and I don't want to downplay his achievements. But secondly, it's not enough. Drastically changing the appearance of your body isn't necessarily an indicator of good health. We need to know more. Does our slimline man now sleep better? Is he less stressed? Are his moods more stable? Is his diet both healthier and sustainable? And that little excerpt there, that's actually most of the section there for mindful body transformations, that really there encompasses and encapsulates a lot of the message of really what Fundamentally Fit is all about. And it's actually why, if you go onto our Facebook page or onto our website, we don't actually have, and I never have done this, have lots and lots of before and afters. And there's a few very specific reasons for this. It doesn't tell you enough about the individual. It plays to the media, it plays to the public perception that a successful, healthy transformation is only when you have lost a huge amount of weight. It is only when you're looking ridiculously thin and skinny that is a successful outcome. And it doesn't take into account how well is this person sleeping. It doesn't take into account how is their medication, how is their blood pressure, how are they feeling for the changes that they made. Can they run more? Can they train more? Are they recovering faster? Do they get less back pain? Do they wake feeling rested? Do they sleep all night? Do they have confidence in eating out? Do they have confidence in feeding their family? All of these different things make up a successful body transformation, because it isn't just body, it's body and mind. So if you go over to my website, you will find occasional before and afters. But these are very specific individuals who have been on very specific journeys, and actually you'll find that I talk about all aspects of their journey. What I don't like to do is just use people as marketing material and plaster them all over my website, because actually transformations are a really deeply personal thing. And when somebody comes to me to ask for my help with their transformation, I don't think that should be a reason to plaster them all over my website and use them as cannon fodder for growing my business. I think the respectful thing to do is to work with them, get their help, get a testimonial when they're happy, but actually if they are happy, they will do that job for you, because they will tell other people how they have been moved by your service, how what you have done has helped them, and that is, I'm happy to say, touch wood, what happens with my happy, successful clients. And I'm pleased that hopefully people are becoming more mindful of this, because actually all the before and afters, and we've seen many times, and if you haven't seen this, is Google the fake before and afters. BBC did a whole thing on this a while ago last year, and it's very enlightening, very good. They basically, a lot of the before and afters, not all, but a lot, some are fake. And basically a couple of things can happen. People or unscrupulous companies will image search on Google, and they will take other companies' successful before and afters. So people that have worked really hard with their clients to get a really successful outcome. Other people who are just setting up will basically take those images and use them to sell their product, whatever that may be, to their clients, which is completely illegitimate in its own right anyway. The other thing that happens is that some of them are fake. They just are outright completely fake. And what they'll do is they will take the afters first. So they'll do a session in the gym, they'll dehydrate themselves slightly, they'll take them from certain angles, they'll get the lighting right, so they'll get pumped up, and then they'll go away, and then they will spend a couple of hours of eating carb heavy foods to retain water, fizzy drinks to kind of bloat themselves out. They'll slouch their posture, they'll change the lighting, they'll change the angles, and they'll make themselves look like they're a stone bigger. And we can all do this. If we all go stand in front of the mirror, kind of flex your chest out, flex your arms, kind of get your best Arnold Schwarzenegger pose on, we can all make ourselves look more puffed up and more ready to go. And if you go do yourselves a couple of rounds of core stability, you're going to have no problems looking a little bit sharper and a little bit leaner. If, however, you go in front of the mirror and you kind of slouch, you roll your shoulders forward and you arch your back and you let your stomach kind of hang out a little bit, we can all make ourselves look bigger than we actually are. And unfortunately, there is a little bit too much of this goes on online because it isn't regulated in any way. And so people are becoming more mindful of what a successful body transformation is and what it actually means. That is a really positive thing. And I was very pleased to see this on the list for 2017. Now, I am let's have a look, because we are 20 minutes or so in. So I'm just going to pick one more of these. I had really wanted to talk about two, but we're going to go with this one. HIIT exercises need yin to their yang. And this is quite an interesting one. So HIIT, high intensity interval training. This is very short bursts of exercise, 20 to 30 seconds, short recoveries, and then you go again. But HIIT training has been a huge success, largely championed by the likes of Mr. Joe Wicks, who's done very well with this, but it has been very popular across the fitness industry for quite a few years now, and it has been sold on the basis of being something you can do in your lunch break. It's been sold on the basis of something you can fit into a 20-minute workout, and it's super efficient, which is all cool and all good, but people are starting to realise it has its limitations. And I'm not I was saying like I told you so, but I was writing about this like over 2 years ago on my first website in my blog. Actually, HIIT training is really cool. Has a really real benefits for people trying to help them lose weight, help them trying to improve their cardiovascular function very quickly, which is what's really better for. But actually it has some very specific and important drawbacks. One of those being it isn't always appropriate for everybody. Now, it is claimed that you can do this at home on your own, and a lot of times it's using exercises like press-ups and lunges and bodyweight squats. These are not really the best ways of doing HIIT in the correct sense. HIIT is meant to be maximum effort. okay, for a very, very short burst. It is hard to do a maximum effort press up if you can't really do press ups fully and properly. It is very, very difficult to do maximum effort squats for that set period of time, because you kind of just hit a pace that is right for your level of fitness. Now you might say, that's fast enough. But what I'm really getting at is the proper HIIT is best done, say, on a stationary bike. It's best done on a running track where you can sprint, or it's best done, say, in a swimming pool where you can swim. You need to be in an environment where you can push your body to its absolute maximum for those intervals. It's hard, and it really, to be honest, not that much fun when done correctly. Now, many of the exercises for this that are given for people to do at home are compromises. They're ways of doing this, they're ways of using a similar session, but often the correct intensity is never really hit in the way that it should be. It's never really hit in the way that it should be. And so people are doing this exercise thinking they're getting massive afterburn effects and they're going to be burning calories for days, and really it doesn't happen like that. And actually the elevation in their calorie burn after a session is not as much as they actually believe it to be. Now, I'm not completely knocking this, because this type of training has been shown to really elevate your cardiovascular function quite quickly. And some of the studies are very interesting in this area. And I'm not saying it doesn't help with weight loss either, because it is an effective way of training, but it's just one aspect. It doesn't take into account your diet, which is the much bigger aspect. But the real area where HIIT falls down, and the one where I take kind of issue with it, is that so many people have been encouraged into doing HIIT as the one fix wonder exercise regime, but actually because you are working to such a high intensity, the vast majority of people that come to see me would not be suitable for a HIIT protocol or a HIIT program. And the reason for that is because the type and the intensity of training that you're doing means that you're going to be at a high risk of injury. And most people today that come to me have back issues, knee issues, neck issues, arm issues, something that, they usually come in to see me because they've got an issue. And actually this type of training is actually much higher injury risk, and people are starting to now realize this, which is why it's made the list of industry trends. And people are starting to realize that if you are picking up an injury, you're not going to lose any more weight because you're going to have to stop training. If you are doing this type of training, say once or twice a week, but you are so sore from the training because you've worked so hard, you won't do anything for the rest of the week. In which case, actually, you would have burnt more calories over your 7-day period if you had done more steadier interval training. And maybe not worked at such a high intensity once or twice a week. So people are starting to realize they need to balance this out. 1 or 2 sessions a week balanced out with other types of cross training and different types of training as well is a really good, sensible blend. And this is the thing. And this is the thing with diet. It's the thing with exercise. It's the thing with lifestyle. You can have too much of a good thing, whether that is exercise, your smoothies, your favorite burger, your favorite beer, whatever it is, you can have too much of a good thing. We need balance across the board on everything. It's that old sexy saying that everybody loves, everything in moderation, and HIIT is exactly the same. And I'm pleased people are starting to realize this, because I'm not knocking it. It's a great way of training. I do a lot of it myself, but we do need some more balance with it. So those are just a few of the industry trends. Some of the other things, I'm going to reel off the rest of this list, so you can go and check out the description, find it yourself, have a good read if you would like to. Number 6 on the list, we've got more people getting into online training using Skype to do more coaching. I'm going to be talking about that soon, because that's an area, doing some very cool things in this area, which I'm moving into very, very soon. So online training is becoming a big trend. So we've got, let's go run through the top. I'm going to go through from the top. So we've got Mind the Gap. We've got the difference between the cost of low cost budget gyms is coming down. The cost at the other end, one-to-one training is still going up. The difference between the two is becoming slightly wider. We've also got Better Together. So people are enjoying the benefits of group fitness, getting out to classes in their droves, as always, trying new things. But the classics like spinning, cross training, and CrossFit as well, still proving to be very, very popular. Number 3, wearable technology is is still a growing area. Tracking of sleep and steps, calories burned. People are starting to realise some of the downfalls of this. So things like the amount of stairs that you've climbed, the calories that you've burned, not really as accurate as they could be, but starting to realise that the steps and some of the more basic information, heart rate and things, actually are proving to be more useful. And we're starting to move beyond that gimmicky stage where they are now starting to be a little bit more accurate. And they tend not to go off when you cut your pizza. Yep, because if you haven't heard that story, you need to get back to episode number 4 for fitness tracker addiction. Number 4 on the list, the ad men are behaving themselves. We're starting to see that advertisers are taking a little bit more care. They're trying not to make such spurious, unscientific claims. Apparently, I would maybe test this one. But with the social media out there, people having to start to be a little bit more responsible, because when something outlandish is claimed, there are people out there that will make fun of it and put it into a podcast and call you up on it. So the ad people are starting to be a little bit more aware, and this was a great example of this. I just said I was going to round up. I'm just going to go off on another tangent. But yeah, we saw this one last year because we had the whole controversy around "Are you beach body ready?" on the London Underground, which caused the whole tirade of is it right to use the female form to promote body shaming? And I don't want to dive down that rabbit hole, but as a result, there are no female forms, or there's no sexual content used to sell products on the London Underground as a result of that, which is something I didn't know until very recently. So you won't find bikini clad people using or muscle bound men using to sell products on the Underground on that basis anymore, because of the body shaming that came about last year. Number 5, we're being mindful of body transformations. So people being more aware of the before and afters, what they mean. Does that really mean that you're fit and healthy? As I said already, number 6, more of us are getting online for online coaching and training. And then number 7, HIIT exercises need yin to their yang, as we've just rounded out our podcast there, trying to find a better balance between longer, steadier training and HIIT high intensity training. What a whirlwind. Nice to be back. Slightly more sensible topic today, but it was good to do the balance of the more weird ones that we did last week with our goat yoga and our mermaid fitness. There's some of the more unusual things going on in the fitness industry, because it's, the fitness industry and the health industry is never going to move too far away from the ridiculous, because it likes that unusual connection. But these are some of the more sensible, some of the more realistic things going on in the fitness industry. Let us know what you think. Are you still doing just as much as HIIT training as you were last year? Have you found a better balance? Do you think that works better for you? Are you finding that the body transformation websites, just are you desensitized to them now? Because I hope so. Do you look at it now and just think, that's not realistic, that's not real? Or do you still see that and think that these before and after photos are the pinnacle, are what you're aiming for? That's okay too, but what makes you feel motivated by that? I'd love to know what the thing is that makes you kind of drive towards that, and if it's that single focus, maybe we should have a chat, because maybe we can help you understand some of those other things that would make you feel better and feel more positive without just having that one focus on everything. But that is today's podcast. I am Andy Strong. I've helped you to hopefully get through the last 30 minutes. Learn a little bit about the fitness industry, learn a little bit about what's going on. I'd love to hear your feedback, hear your opinion. We'll be back next week with a new topic. I'm here next week. I'm off on holiday soon, which is going to be fantastic, but I'm going to be pre-recording a few of the podcasts, and I'm going to be telling you all about my new online coaching platform, and I'll be excited to share that with you. But until then, I am Andy Strong, helping you to eat smart, train smart, stay fundamentally fit, have a fantastic weekend, have a fantastic week, have a fantastic day, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. I think I've covered all the bases. Have a great day. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.